It is senior night here at Elmhurst College at R.A. Fagenal Hall as the Elmhurst College wrestling team, ranked 26th in the nation, concludes the home portion of their season by taking on Lakeland College in the dual home portion of their season. And let's take a look at the seniors who are being honored here today. 3 in total.
3 total seniors today that the Blue Jays will recognize. 3 starters as well for the Blue Jays out on the mat tonight. Ben Salabura, the Blue Jays starter at 133 pounds. Frank Savignato, a starter at 174. And Mark Corsello, the starter at heavyweight today for the Blue Jays. Starting first, Tim, Ben Salabura, 4-year letter winner, 53-35, career record at 133 pounds. Won over 25 matches during his freshman season, placing second at the CCW Championships. Placed third at the Conference Championships last season. He's got a 3-2 mark through the first 5 matches of the season at 133 pounds. Ben Salabura, the Blue Jay starter at 133. Up next for Elmhurst, it's Frank Savignago, the senior being recognized today, a 4-year letter winner and starter for Elmhurst once again, who has a 49-36 overall record while competing at 174. He's placed third at the conference championships in each of the past 2 seasons. This year he has a perfect 6-0 record, won the individual championship of the Concordia University Open, and was named the CCW's co-wrestler of the week in the process. He's a graduate of St. Charles East High School. This night starter at 174 pounds for the Blue Jays, Frank Savignago. And up last for the Blue Jays tonight, Tim, senior Mark Corsello, 4-year letter winner at Elmhurst. Corsello, one of the most decorated wrestlers in school history, a career record of 93-22. He's a 3-time national qualifier, a 2-time All-American. He ranks 8th currently in school history in total victories. He's won 3 straight CCW championships and was named the conference's most outstanding wrestler last season. He's won a pair of individual titles at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional and finishes the national runner-up at the 2009 NCAA championships. Once again, he is a perfect 6-0 this season and won his 12th individual title of his career by winning the Concordia University Open. He is currently ranked 2nd in the nation in the heavyweight weight class and is a graduate of Maine South High School. The starter tonight for the Blue Jays at 285 pounds, Mark Corsello.
And viewers here on Blue Jay TV have not yet had the opportunity to see Mark Corsello. He's received a pair of forfeits in the first 2 dual matches that we have had for you here on Blue Jay TV against Loris and also against Wheaton College. So those are the seniors for the Elmhurst College wrestling team, honored before the matchup here tonight as the Blue Jays prepare to take on the Muskies of Lakeland College. Elmhurst is 3-0, Lakeland is 1-1. And we'll have the start coming for you in just a moment on Blue Jay TV. This evening's dual meet will begin at 125 pounds as the lineups are being introduced. Tom Liskowski for Elmhurst, Grant Franzen for Lakeland. At 133 pounds for Lakeland, it is John Wormwood and Ben Salabura, who was honored moments ago here before the start of the contest. At 141, it's Rob Frias for Lakeland and Mike Grice for Elmhurst, and we'll talk about each of these athletes in depth during their matchups here. At 149, Jacob Bugaiski for Lakeland and Ryan Early for Elmhurst. 10 matches here tonight in this dual meet. At 157 pounds, Brandon Garcia, sophomore for Lakeland. Tom Young for Elmhurst. .165, Ryan Reno. And Youssef Al Ghul for Elmhurst. 174 pounds, Bryce Babula for Lakeland. And Frank Sabignago, perfect 6-0 this season, also one of the seniors honored before the match. 184 pounds, Lakeland with Chris Weber. Elmhurst with Joe Rouse. They make their way out to the center and exchange pleasantries. 197, Zach Wetzel, a freshman for Lakeland, and Mike McNeil for Elmhurst. And our final match will be at 285 pounds. Tom Phelan for Lakeland and Mark Corsello, also honored before the matchup here tonight at R.A. Fagenal Hall. So glad you're with us on Blue Jay TV. Don't forget you can go back and watch any of our broadcasts through the Blue Jay TV YouTube page. Also follow Blue Jay Athletics on Facebook and also Twitter to get all of the up-to-date schedules, which are also on the left of your screen. As you view at home, we will have basketball for you, double dip of men's on Thursday and Saturday coming up this weekend, in addition to the wrestling match here this evening. The captains gathering in the center with our referee today and talking things over. We'll introduce you to the head coaches for each of these programs. For Elmhurst, it is Steve Marionetti. And for Lakeland, it is Mike Durain in his first season, former head coach at the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Elmhurst is 3-0, ranked 26th in the NWCA poll, while Lakeland takes a 1-1 record into the matchup tonight. Lakeland was victorious at home over Wisconsin-Eau Claire by just 1 point, 25-24, before Wisconsin-Stevens Point upended the Muskies 33-9 in a home matchup earlier this year as well. One thing to note, Lakeland will host regionals this season on February 26th. The Great Lakes Regional will be hosted by the Muskies up in Wisconsin. Lakeland is in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And we are underway at 125 pounds. For Elmhurst, it is Tom Liskowski, sophomore out of Palatine, Illinois. He's 5-3 on the season, and he's trying to score the first 2 points here early. And he is awarded the 2-point takedown against a freshman for Lakeland, Grant Franzen.
Very quick strike that time by Liskowski. Tim just snuck in under the guard. That time grabbed hold of the leg, was able to get him down and gain control. As Liskowski gets the first 2 points, he's off to an impressive start this season, 5-3 in his first year as the Blue Jay starter, 125 pounds. Big shoes to fill for Tom as he's replacing a 4-year All-American in Jake Oster.
You mentioned Mark Corsello is going down as one of the greatest wrestlers in Elmhurst program history. Certainly Jake Oster, who's now on the coaching staff, has his name in that conversation as well. Grant Franzen, 3-4 for Lakeland, a freshman, qualified for the Illinois State Tournament. And we will already have an injury stoppage time as
it's a little blood time here. I think just maybe a bloody nose or a split lip here, making sure that the blood gets cleaned up here.
It is around the lip of Grant Franzen. Interesting looking at this Lakeland roster. They are very young. Not a single senior in their starting lineup. In fact, only one junior in their starting lineup. The rest are freshmen and sophomores.
6 freshmen on the mat today for the Muskies, Tim. A very difficult challenge against a relatively experienced Blue Jay team who doesn't start a single freshman out there. Elmhurst with 3 seniors out on the floor, or out on the mat tonight. A lot of sophomores for the Blue Jays as well. So Elmhurst still a relatively young team, but have that experience, unlike you've got several freshmen out there. We've said 6 freshmen, a couple going for their first match of the season out there today.
We will have another wrestling match for you. It'll be on Thursday, February 10th, the CCIW Championships here at R.A. Fagnall Hall beginning at 5 o'clock. But that will not just be Elmhurst. That will be all of the CCIW programs that compete in wrestling as we are back to live action.
We're going to carry the championship matches for that one live.
Tom Laskowski riding Grant Franson here in the first with a 2-0 advantage in the opening match of our dual meet today. Laskowski opened the season with a loss to Pat Fance of Loris, 5-3. Battled back in his second matchup and actually upended Fance by a 6-3 score to record his first victory of the season, the first of 3 matches that he picked up victories in a row. His other losses this year to Mac Dries of Wisconsin-Platteville, injury time again, and Carl DeLuca of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. His last outing was on November 30th in a dual meet against Chicago. He beat Jake Schramm 5-1. Elmhurst in that contest, very solid as they knocked off Chicago 45-3. The second of the convincing victories for the Blue Jays thus far in 2010 as they knocked off Loris 29-13 in the opener, shut out Wheaton 46-0. Both of those matches were seen here on Blue Jay TV. And then also that victory over Chicago. And of course they have had the opportunity to participate in a couple of opens, the Concordia Wisconsin Invite and the Wisconsin Open hosted by Wisconsin Parkside.
Blue Jays went with a smaller squad up at the Wisconsin Open this past weekend. Tim, Coach Steve Marinetti telling me he wants to make sure his guys are fresh and more importantly healthy. Wants to keep those starters. He wants to try to avoid the injury bug at all costs this year. And already the Blue Jays have one starter banged up at 197 pounds. As Elmhurst will be without Danny Vargas tonight.
Laskowski attempting to flip Franzen here in the first with 1 minute left. This will be the last competition for the Blue Jays until December 19th when they will be down in Orlando, Florida at the Gator Duels hosted by Luther College, prominent program nationally out of the Iowa Conference. Elmhurst will also take part in the national duels this year down in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Change for the Blue Jays in their schedule this year, going to the national duels for the first time. They've been wrestling at the Desert Duels for about the past 5 or 6 seasons out in Las Vegas.
Also hosted by an Iowa Conference program in Wartburg. Down to 20 seconds. Franzen is still face down on the mat, but he's trying to gather some momentum to his knees and pushed down again by Laskowski.
Laskowski here trying to avoid giving up that last second escape point here. I think he was realizing the short time left on the clock, just wants to make sure he rides control here. And just 4 seconds, and the clock does sound.
And we will again have the trainer come over to check on Franzen, whose right arm is covered. First period has come to a close. The trainer for the Blue Jays out to the mat to wipe up some spots as well with the old disinfectant. Kevin, our official again tonight, the same one that we've seen in the first 2 matchups.
Terry Giardini, a veteran NCAA official, works a lot of the Elmhurst duels, usually one of the regulars at the Al Hankey Invitational that we'll see out in January. Regular for the conference championship sometimes as well.
He's Kevin Drude. I'm Tim Calderwood with you on Blue Jay TV as they continue to work on the freshman Grant Franson from Lakeland College. Kevin, at what point does blood become an issue in a match?
Well, you have different times with the blood and then versus actual outright injury time. Officials need to make sure that that there is no blood on the singlet itself, like keeping it off the arms and the legs, and they make sure they clean it up off the mat too. As friends, I can't tell if it's the nose or maybe just a split lip that they're working on, which is the cause of the problem here.
And Tom Laskowski will have the choice to begin the second position. He will defer, and we begin neutral It took only 16 seconds into the first for Laskowski to record a takedown, jumping ahead to the 2-0 advantage. He then held Franson to the mat for the final 2:45 of the first.
And he's got that leg one more time.
And there it is, 2 more for Laskowski. Took him 19 seconds here in the second before he recorded his second takedown.
Very quick move by Laskowski. Just gets in nice and low, grabs hold of that leg, and able to sink it in and drive Franz into the mat to get the 2 points.
Franson attempting to escape. Laskowski continuing to wrap around the right leg.
Nice job by Laskowski. Franson got to his feet, broke the hold. Laskowski changed his grip up a little bit, grabbed hold of that leg, and took him back to the mat, making sure he didn't give up that point on the escape.
And we have a caution. Now the arm is hooked to Franson.
Laskowski trying to gain position, see if he can roll him over, put him on his back.
The opening match of our dual meet tonight, here at 125 pounds.
And a nice job by Laskowski. He's got almost out of that. And a nice job by Franson to fight it off. Laskowski had that arm hooked and was trying to use the ankles almost to wrap the neck and try to roll Franson onto his shoulders.
Of the victories for Laskowski this season, he owns 1 fall. That was over Jared Lillyhorn of Muskegon in the Concordia Open. It was a third period fall, and now Laskowski has had enough. He will just allow Franson to escape. So it is 4-1 with 30 seconds remaining here in the second. Turning again is Franson. Sliding in.
Laskowski still with time.
Going for a quick 2 here before the end of the period, and he gets it. 6-1 will be our score after 2. 7 when you factor in the over 4 minutes of riding time accumulated thus far for Laskowski.
Laskowski going to start down here, so if he can get the quick escape point, he'll gain another point, and just like that, not quite. Got to his feet, but the legs lock still in there by Franson.
Could almost gain a reversal here.
And there it is. And Laskowski quickly reverses it, and now he's up 8-1. He's got that major point decision with the riding time of 4 minutes now.
Wrapping his arm around the neck of Franson, tearing him towards the mat. Franson has been on the defensive since 15 seconds into this match, and it has remained throughout. He's trying to crawl towards the corner of the mat.
Franson's done a nice job, Tim, you can say, of avoiding going down on his back, as Laskowski's been several times trying to flip him over and put him on his shoulders, but just can't quite get it done. But still well in control of this match. An 8-1 lead with 4 minutes and 42 seconds of riding time with 1 minute to go.
One minute even. There's the easy escape. Remains a 7-point advantage at 9-2.
And just like that, Laskowski gets in there with both legs this time.
Down again. 10-2. Laskowski has yet to record a major decision this season. He has the 1 pin. All the rest of his wins and all the rest of his losses have all been by standard decision. He's wrestled at 125 pounds throughout. The sophomore out of Palatine, Illinois.
It's pretty much his position this season. Tim, as the Blue Jays do not have a large number of wrestlers at the 125 weight class.
Down to 10 seconds. Laskowski 10-10 a season ago, wrestling at 125 pounds. First college victory was a pin. Match goes to the Blue Jays. Final score will be 11-2 in favor of Laskowski, who records a major decision. And as such, Elmhurst will grab the early lead in our dual meet here this evening by the score of 4-0.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at 1:33, it's John Wormwood for Lakeland, Elmhurst.
133 pounds, John Wardwood wrestling in his first match of the season for Lakeland, a freshman out of Menominee, Michigan. If you're wondering where that is, it is at the Michigan and Wisconsin border. And it's bad that I know that. My useless knowledge of the Midwest sometimes prefaces me. Ben Salabura, meanwhile, for Elmhurst, is out of Chicago. He wrestled at Marist. Senior honor before the matchup today is 3-2 on the season. Did you know where Menominee, Michigan is?
I had no idea.
All right, then. No scoring of yet. Salabura attempting to gather the takedown. Nothing yet. Terry Giardini right on top of it. Wormwood continuing to shuffle forward.
Wormwood with a hold of Salabura's ankle, trying to prevent him from getting it in, and now Ben able to get around for the behind him and put the hold on for the 2-point finish off the takedown.
Salabura last wrestled on November 20th. He lost his last time on the mat against Alan Fish of Wisconsin-Platteville at 133 pounds in the Concordia Open. Had a 3-match win streak after a loss to Brendan Murphy to open that event. He beat Stephen Motzinger of North Central, Jacob Williams of Concordia, Nebraska, and Marcus Lubner of Concordia, Wisconsin, before losing to Alan Fish. He does own a major decision this season, and that was an 18-4 victory over Motzinger of North Central.
He did not have to wrestle against the University of Chicago in that dual meet. Tim, Chicago unable to make weight at 33, so getting a win by forfeit there, and was not part of the group that wrestled at the Wisconsin Open this past weekend. Said Steve Marinetti electing to rest the majority of his starters. A handful of those starters did compete up there. Tom Young at 157, one of those starters who did. But Salabura did not wrestle this past weekend.
Under a minute in the first. Salabura with a 2-0 advantage, working on the right leg of the freshman Wormwood.
This is Wormwood's first collegiate match. Timmy comes in with no record, has not wrestled at all here.
Now. He was able to avoid getting flipped onto his back. He was warned moments ago. And we have a stalemate. Warnings on both sides now. And we have injury time for Wormwood in his first collegiate match. Boy, it has been a busy start to the night for the Lakeland trainer.
Working on the left leg this time of Wormwood. I don't know if it's a could just be a cramp or what. I don't want to speculate too much on there. The first one was simply just a split lip. I think they were dealing with the blood cleanup. Here's time an actual injury here for Wormwood. I hope he's okay, getting some help up. Looks like he's all right. And the match will continue now. Salabura in control, 2-0 up with a minute and a half already of riding time.
53-34 in the career of Ben Salabura here at Elmhurst College. Honored before the match. Was a starter at 133 pounds as a freshman. He holds a 2-0 advantage with time winding out here in the first period. Trying to flip Wormwood. He's on his back. Avoids it. Now we'll try the other side. Continuing to roll. Around and around we go. Where we stop the first period knows. It's a 2-0 lead for Salabura. We'll see if there's any back points awarded potentially for a near fall.
Nope. Terry Giardini was signaling it was a rolling over. There was too much. Was not in contact long enough for there to be any back points awarded. fast and furious final seconds there. And the closing seconds, actually, Wormwood almost came out on top of him in a near reversal there.
And now it's Wormwood trying to put Salabura in a compromising position.
Down a minute 50 here in riding time. He's going to try to work that down.
Salabura won 26 matches as a freshman, 26-15, and now it was a reversal.
You saw that one coming there. Salabura had hold of the legs the whole time and just kind of needed to duck under the body that time of Wormwood to get position.
Salabura finished 5th at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional and 2nd in the CCIW as a freshman. Was 11-9 during a sophomore season before missing time with an injury. And last year, 13-8, placing 3rd in the CCIW at 133 pounds. He won the individual title in the Al Hankey Invitational hosted by Elmhurst. That will be on January 15th this year, if you're wondering.
Down to a minute to go here in the second round.
Again, trying to work Wormwood's left shoulder towards the mat. And we'll head back towards the center.
Salabura going to go to the neutral start here.
Give him a declared escape. So it is now a 4-1 advantage for Salabura.
Wormwood steps around the single leg shoot that time by Salabura. Salabura just snaps him down that time, gets behind and gets the 2-point for the takedown.
6-1. Salabura again trying to find a way to turn Wormwood. Over 2.5 minutes of riding time on his side presently. And this is the second match of our duel here tonight.
Down to 10 seconds here in the second period.
Tom Laskowski, 11-2, major decision at 125 pounds to give the Blue Jays a 4-0 lead. And it is a 6-1 lead for Ben Salabura headed into the third as Lakeland has the choice. And John Wormwood elects to start down here in the third.
Salabura used the optional cover last time. This time he will start on top. And quickly puts him back to all fours on the mat.
It has been all Elmhurst in each of our first 2 matches here tonight in this duel between Elmhurst and Lakeland. There is a point awarded for a second stalling.
Salabura trying to just get control of those legs and just bring him over onto his back as he's got Wormwood in a compromising position here, but just can't quite get him all the way over.
Almost. Still working, still working. Wormwood's on his back, but Salabura's got to get on top. Can he push the left shoulder down? No. And we will have some near fall points awarded here to the Elmhurst senior. He continues to try to spin him around on the mat. A 2-point near fall for Salabura.
He's in position to get a couple more here in another second.
He has a major decision on his side.
Got the leverage, but a
dangerous hold. Four minutes of riding time in favor of Salabura. This is final dual meet match in front of the home fans. Working on turning Wormwood in a reversal. Little too aggressive.
Now Salabura.
It is Wormwood who's attempting to go for the pin. Down to 20 seconds, though. He has Salabura on his back, but Salabura quickly recovers, spinning around and gathering the reversal point on his side with 10 seconds left in this third period. Five-second riding time advantage Elmhurst now holds an 8-0 lead in the duel as Ben Salabura records a 12-3 decision for his 4th victory of the season when you factor in riding time. So Elmhurst has won the first 2 matches of our dual meet this evening. Glad you are with us on Blue Jay TV. Don't forget to visit elmhurstbluejays.com to learn all about the Elmhurst College wrestling team, their schedule, their results, all there. That's where I get all of my info. 141 pounds. Mike Grice for Elmhurst, sophomore out of Worth, Illinois. He prepped at Shepherd High School. Rob Frias out of Oak Lawn, Illinois, a junior for Lakeland and one of their experienced wrestlers.
Yeah, one of their 2 best on the mat tonight. Frias, a 5-4 record coming in today, the only upperclassman on the mat for the Muskies tonight, Tim. Grice just a sophomore. He does have a very impressive 7-3 record, though, to start here this season.
Rob Frias is 5-4. His brother Jake is on the coaching staff at Lakeland, and his other brother is also on the Lakeland roster. Kind of an interesting story there, as he was at Elmhurst last season.
Grice had a good start there, had position, but nice job by Frias to fight it off.
A pair of 3-match win streaks for Grice this season. 3 wins by fall on November 16th, 20th against Casey Cron of Wheaton, Garrett Payne of Wabash, and Matt Klein of Chicago. All of those were in the first period.
Grice quickly through the quick shoot. He's got hold of that leg. Let's see if he can put him down to the mat, though.
I lost his headgear. No scoring of yet here at 141 pounds.
Terry Giardini going to let him go until he, with the spot that Grice is in right now.
That's because he's able to get the takedown. No,
Quite.
Almost had it. Giardini, in fact, was ready to raise those 2 points into the air. And now we will have the stoppage to enable Mike Grice to reattach his headgear. Here at R.A. Faggot Hall, Grice 7-3 on the season.
Was a talented wrestler coming in for the Blue Jays last season. Didn't get to show a whole lot for Elmhurst. He battled some injuries there early in his freshman season, but getting a chance to start for the Blue Jays out there this year at 141.
4 of his wins by fall. Told you those 3 in a row. He also pinned Johansson Amin of Chicago in the first period as well.
Yeah, 4 of those, all of his falls have come in the opening period.
Grice was 9-5 last season at 141 pounds. Missed the season with an injury following those 14 contests. His first college win was against Tyrell Smith of Concordia, Nebraska, 21st of 2009. Under a minute in the first, still no scoring. Elmhurst leading the duel 8-0. Pair of major decisions at 125 and 133. Along with Kevin Jude, I'm Tim Calderwood on Blue Jay TV. Wrestling action this evening, and headgear is off again of Grice. That'll tell you that Frias is working high on the Elmhurst sophomore.
So maybe a
Terry
faulty
Giardini
headgear.
is now going to ask for Grice to receive a new set. He'll trade the gray ones for the white ones.
I think that just perhaps a busted snap on that first one, as it just didn't seem like it wanted to stay. That chin strap just didn't seem to want to stay in place there.
Jake Frias, the assistant coach for Lakeland. His brother is Rob on the mat, saying that's better, applauding the effort. My goodness, we've just got all kinds of stoppages so far in the match. A contact perhaps popped out.
I think that's exactly what it was.
We've had injury time in each of the first 2 matches.
Injury time,
We
blood
had
time.
senior night to start us behind schedule, and now we've had a lost contact.
Injury time, blood time, a headgear issue in these first 3 matches.
Down to 5 seconds. Frias trying to score the takedown before the end of the period, and it won't happen. Mike Grice will have the choice, and he defers. Kevin, any difference into choosing to defer going into that second period?
A lot of people usually, when they have the choice, will usually defer to the third, especially in a scoreless match. Kind of see what your opponent will decide to do in that second round before you knowing what you have to come up with in the third round, whether you start down and need the escape point or whether you just need to try and ride them out for the ride time.
Speaking of ride time, that is what Grice is doing here in the second.
Frias selected to start down. Grice up to almost 30 seconds here ride time to start this second period.
Frias attempting to work his way to his knees as Grice tries to circle his way around.
Grice got that arm pinned behind his back, trying to see if he can use his momentum to roll him over.
And he's able to roll him over, but the rolling continues. And now Frias has an opportunity to drive towards the legs, looking to secure the reversal. Almost.
Still got that leg. Grice has still got a hold of the leg as now it's locked in, and there's the point. But Grice did manage to get up over a minute of ride time here.
So basically we are even at 1 each, though that was technically the first scoring of the match, the escape for Frias here at 141 pounds. Grice lifting Frias off the mat.
Can he finish it off this time, though? He's had him a couple times. He's got 30 seconds now. Nothing yet. Frias doing a nice job of defense as Grice has had him down in that position almost twice already in this match, but just unable to kind of finish off the takedown. And there it is.
So Grice will take the lead at 2-1.
Finally getting that arm to go down and able to fully gain control of Frias.
As the second period closes. A 2-1 advantage for Mike Grice, looking for his 8th victory of the season. An impressive start for the sophomore.
Grice going to start neutral here. Basically working with a 2-point lead here with the ride time here, but only a minute 22 seconds. So only a 22-second advantage here, reality, to keep that ride time point up. Now he can play a little bit of defense here, though, against Frias. Now if you're Grice, you can get a takedown and almost put that one out of reach then.
Driving towards the top corner. And we will head back towards the middle of the mat. .115 left. Frias is 5-4 on the season for Lakeland. He lifts Grice, trying to flip him over. Grice spinning around. We remain in the neutral position.
Grice trying to circle around, and there's 2 more points for Grice.
It is now a 4-1 advantage with under a minute. Frias has his work cut out for him now. Giardini telling the wrestlers to keep moving. Wants to see some action out there in the circle. Grice coming up on 10 seconds away from allowing the Blue Jays to win the first 3 matches of this dual meet tonight. Frias escapes. 4-2. And now he quickly needs a takedown, and it will not happen. Scored a 5-2 decision for Mike Grice at 141 pounds when you factor in riding time. And Elmhurst holds an 11-0 lead on the scoreboard here at R.A. Fagottle Hall tonight.
Up next at 149 pounds, Jacob Bugajski for Lakeland against Ryan Early of the Blue Jays. Bugajski, another one of those two freshmen that we talked about, wrestling their first collegiate match out there tonight. Tim Elmhurst, meanwhile, counters with Ryan Early, a sophomore. Started the majority, almost all year last year as a freshman for the Blue Jays. Had a very strong year, and he's off to a 9-2 start here in 2010.
Early out of Wheaton, here in DuPage County. He wrestled at Wheaton North High School. Bugajski's out of Chicago, hailing from De La Salle High School. Reached the edge of the mat. Let's take a look at some of the results for Ryan Early this season. He won his first 5 matches. 2 major decisions and a fall in there. And he is looking to grab the early advantage here in the first period tonight at 149 pounds.
He can get that leg down, trying to sweep down on the leg and pull Bugajski down to the mat. Nice job of defense here, though, by Bugajski, and will end up being a stalemate. Nothing. They'll start back in the center of the mat.
First loss of the season was to Jake Strausbaugh of Wabash in a tight 5-4 decision. On the season for Early, he owns 1 fall, 1 tech fall, and also 4 major decisions, including his last time out against Ryan Hoyt of Chicago, a 10-2 victory on November 30th. No scoring of yet here in the first. Bugajski trying to work his way as Early pushes him back towards the edge of the mat. Drives in towards the hips. Continues to push. We've gone too far.
Nice job again by Bugajski, just trying to make himself as wide as he possibly can, spreading out the legs back towards the edge of the mat as Early was in trying to wrap both hands around the waist for a takedown.
Ryan Early finished 23-12 during his freshman season with the Blue Jays at 141 pounds. So he is up a weight class for his sophomore campaign as he lifts the left leg of Bugajski and secures the takedown. Placed second at 141 pounds at the CCIW Championships. Went on to finish 6th at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional. Elmhurst with an 11-0 lead in the duel, having won the first 3 matches, 2 via major decision. And the match resumes with 40 seconds as Bugajski, to his feet, shoved back by Early.
Trying to get some position and gain some leverage down there on the mat, see if he can roll over Bugajski.
Bugajski attempting to flip. Early has him in a tough spot. The count is on.
Going to be 3 points here for the near fall here.
Under 5 seconds left in the match in this first period. 3 points awarded on the near fall. It's a 5-0 advantage for Ryan Early, who is just shy of a minute in riding time on the scoreboard.
Bugajski limping a little bit here as he gets up to start the second.
Lakeland finished 26th in the nation last season. We're 7-9 in dual meets. They have 4 Wisconsin Conference schools and 2 Iowa Conference schools on their schedule.
And a quick reversal here for Ryan Early, and he's got Bugajski in a dangerous spot one more time. And he's got him back on the shoulders here in a position to end it.
The count is on. Can he get that left shoulder to the mat? Almost. Continuing to work, trying to push it down towards the mat. Bugajski hanging on for dear life. Early turning, and Bugajski escapes, but 3 more on the board for Early. It is a 10-0 advantage. Kevin, safe to say that Steve Marionetti has to be very pleased with what he's seen from Ryan Early, not only tonight, but so far this season.
Yeah, he was very impressed with Ryan Early in his freshman year last season. He knew he told me at the beginning of last season that he thought Early was going to be a good one, wrestling at 41 last year due to the fact that the Blue Jays had Charlie Curran entrenched at that 149 spot starting. This year he said that he had to cut weight last year to wrestle at 41, felt a little more comfortable wrestling at 149 pounds. This is his more natural weight class, and he's off to a very impressive start at 9-2 so far here, and in complete control of this match, up 10-0.
30 seconds remaining in the second, and that doesn't factor in the riding time, which is coming up on 2 minutes, and now Early will try again for the pin.
Well, he's got at least 3 more points coming here with the near fall if he can just... Nope, goes back to his shoulders, or onto his stomach rather, as Bugajski, but now Early in control, 13-0. Just 2 points away from a tech fall here for Ryan Early.
Come to a close. It's kind of interesting looking at Lakeland's roster that their freshmen wrestling for the first time have really been struggling here tonight. John Wormwood was nearly pinned on several occasions by Ben Salabura at 133 pounds, and now Jacob Bugajski wrestling for the first time in his college career at 149.
Early just needs a takedown here to end this match. Up 13-0. He's got both legs locked in, and there it is.
Tech fall for Ryan Early at 149 pounds.
Coming at 5:15 in the match, a 15-0 score of the match, as Elmhurst races out now out in front, 16-0.
Looking at the records for Lakeland and their individual wrestlers, this man at 157 pounds is one of only 3 wrestlers who is currently over 500 on the season. Brandon Garcia, a sophomore out of Adel, Wisconsin, second on the squad with 6 victories. He will be facing Tom Young, who is a senior out of Clarendon Hills, Illinois. 9-4 on the season for Young. Young recording a decision over Kyle Lohman of Southern Illinois Edwardsville on December 4th. Scoreless to this point. Elmhurst has won the first 4 matches in their 2 majors and a tech fall. They have a 16-0 advantage on the board. Young attempting to score the first points of the match. Raising the right leg and a 2-point takedown.
Tom Young did wrestle this past weekend, one of the few Blue Jay starters who actually competed at the Wisconsin Open at UW Parkside, had a strong showing there.
Young is a transfer for the Blue Jays, coming in out of the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point.
And some more injury time here. It's like, once again, I think it's Blund time here as they're going to clean up the cut.
Tom Young earned 4 varsity letters at Hinsdale Central, all conference and team captain as a senior, also a state qualifier as a senior.
University of Northern Iowa for the national duels. That's January 8th and 9th.
Looks like we are all set. And with Young holding a 2-0 advantage, Garcia will use the brief stoppage for blood to escape. 2-1 our score here in the first period at 157 pounds. towards the edge of the mat over by the Lakeland bench. Circling back towards the center.
Young trying to snap Garcia down here and then try to drive him to the mat, step around him to get control for that takedown.
1 minute left in the period. Back to the center we go.
Young with control
Young driving, grabbing that left leg, lifting Garcia off the mat. Garcia having none of it. Cycling his way around right at the edge of the mat. With 30 seconds remaining in the first.
Garcia did a nice job there at the very end. Once again, kicking those legs back as far as you possibly can, making it difficult for Young to try and wrap both arms around his waist.
Steve Marianetti saying stay on him. With 10 seconds remaining. Young forced to backpedal. He's lifted by Garcia.
Fights it off though.
And the first comes to a close.
Garcia choosing down to start the second period. See if Young goes for the optional cover. Nope, he is going to start in control.
The right leg is in the air. Young back to the mat.
Got a good hold on that arm, seeing if he can get some leverage and flip him over.
Under a minute and a half in the second. Young this season posted a 5-match winning streak after losing to Ben Strobel of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. Tech fall over a wrestler from Illinois State. Major decision over Jacob Babb of Concordia, Nebraska. Decision over Willie Sladen of Loris. Decision over his teammate, Zach Crawford. Pinning Matt Versillo of Wartburg.
Nice job that time by Young just to hold on as Garcia was to his feet trying to get that extra point.
3 majors and a pin this season for Tom Young. Garcia cycling. Again, it is Young in control. The riding time is now over a minute. So bonus point for Tom Young.
Should point out that 2 of Tom's losses have come to higher division wrestlers. At the last meet at the Wisconsin Open for UW Parkside, he lost to a Division II wrestler and then lost to a Division I wrestler from Northwestern in that tournament. Doing a nice job just to hang on here for Garcia. Garcia trying to spin around for a reversal.
Young's on his back. Young's on his back. There's the reversal, but no points for a near fall. So now it is a 3-2 advantage for Brandon Garcia.
He's trying to work that clock down, get the riding time going backwards.
And if he can ride him out here in the second, it would be under a minute.
Now a stalling warning.
Both wrestlers have been warned here in this 157-pound match. Riding time is back under a minute. And it is down to a battle of 2 minutes. Tom Young will start in the down position. If he can get to his feet and earn the escape, the match would be even.
Garcia now with a true 1 point lead as that riding time has ticked under a minute now, which once belonged to Young. And there's the escape.
Even at 3.
41 seconds of ride time here for Young.
Down to a minute and a half. Once again, a reminder, we'll have men's basketball action for you tomorrow here on Blue Jay TV. Elmhurst and Kalamazoo. And Elmhurst will face Loris on Saturday night. To all of the home men's and women's basketball games here on Blue Jay TV, audio only on the road. 1 minute. And what has been an even bout here at 157.
Both wrestlers being a little cautious now here with this score tied up again at 3.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake.
45 seconds left to go. They're kind of just feeling each other out here a little bit right now.
At the same time, though, you also don't want to settle for overtime with under 40 seconds.
Garcia makes the move here. Young trying to fight it off, and he rides it out of bounds.
Young aiming low. Garcia quick to pounce.
Just 15 seconds left to go here in regulation.
Garcia looking for the left leg. Circling. Little too far. 6 2/10.
Gonna have to be a very, very quick takedown here. Otherwise, this one's going overtime.
Signs point to OT. Even at 3. One minute overtime session underway.
I remember both wrestlers have been warned for stalling here, so a second one will result in a point.
Flipping. Nothing yet. Young's in a bad slot. Garcia going for the win.
Young still got the leg, though, but Garcia able to step around, and there it is.
An overtime victory for Brandon Garcia by the score of 5-3. 47 seconds into the extra session as Lakeland records their first victory of the duel. It is now 16-3 in favor of Elmhurst. As tonight's matchup moves on to 165 pounds. Ryan Renan for Lakeland. Sophomore out of Wrightstown, Wisconsin, is quickly put down by his opponent, Yusef Al-Ghul. Sophomore out of Lombard, Illinois.
Just like that, an escape for Renan.
Al-Ghul out of Glenbard East. Renan, meanwhile, the top returning wrestler for Lakeland from last season. Finished 32-12 a year ago and placed 4th at the Great Lakes Regional, but that was at 174 pounds. He's down at 165 this season and owns a 7-4 record, which is presently the top mark on the Lakeland squad. Yusef Al-Ghul has been edged in his last 2 matches, both by Jim Layton of Chicago, losing 3-2 in an open meet and losing 5-4 in a duel. As the takedown is scored, and Renan has a 3-2 advantage. .145 remaining here in this opening period. Al-Ghul is on his back. The count is on. And a 2-point near fall for Renan.
started out very promising for Al Ghul as he had a quick takedown, but now finds himself down 5-2 here early.
Some more counting. Tack on 2. It is a 7-2 lead for Renan. One minute left in the first. What has been a very convincing first period for Ryan Renan. Al Ghul to his knees. Trying to stand up. Al Ghul recorded 5 victories in a row before his consecutive losses to Jim Layton of Chicago, and he's on his feet, attempting to rip away. Got the foot out.
Still time here in this match, only the opening period, down 7-3, plus a point on ride time, but 25 seconds left in this opening period.
2 majors and a fall for Al Ghul this season. Among his 7 victories. Eight seconds left in the opening frame. And the first is in the books, with Renan on top 7-3. Al Ghul will attempt to milk away some of the ride time advantage for Renan here in the second. As he opens on top of the sophomore. Ride time is now under a minute. Renan attempting to stand, Al Ghul having none of it. .115 in the second. No scoring here, but the ride time advantage has been erased. Under a minute. Al Ghul continuing to control this second. Looking to turn Renan. Renan recorded a pair of near falls in the first. A stalling warning.
34 seconds as Al Ghul trying to get a little bit of leverage down here on the mat, see if he can roll Renan onto his shoulders.
Riding time has now come full circle as Al Ghul with the advantage. If he can close out this second period, it would be up almost to a minute for Al Ghul. But he's trailing 7-3 on the board.
Starting to get that left shoulder up in the air, trying to roll him over, but just Renan doing a nice job of just fighting off just enough.
Al Ghul with the decision. He chooses neutral, heading towards the third. Just 6-8 last season, while competing at 165 pounds. It's going to have to come from behind here in the third, trailing 7-3. (16-3) is the dual meet score in favor of the nationally ranked Blue Jays. Al Ghul backing up. Renan looking to make it consecutive victories for the Muskies on the mat. There's a stalling, point taken away. The point goes to Al Gould, who's now within 7-4.
He's got the legs held in pretty tight here. If he can get the takedown with just a little bit, he can tie this matchup by getting some riding time on top of it.
He's working to gain leverage, pushing his inside arm on the left side.
Just needs to spin his own body around here, and there it is. There's the 2 points. And just now he's got to pretty much hold on here or try to get a near fall here. If he can hold on, he'll get it to overtime.
He needs just 5 more seconds of riding time to even it up. And he now has the riding time bonus point. So we are even at 7 with 35 seconds remaining. There is a caution against Al Gould. There's already been a point taken from Renan due to the stalling. Got to be careful. Can't let him up either with 28 seconds.
Said he's got to pretty much hold on here if you're Yusuf Al Gould. Renan to his feet, but Al Gould keeping it to his waist, and there's the escape. So now he's got to get a quick takedown here, and it would end the match.
8-6 in favor of Renan with 10 seconds left. Al Gould needs to push. And it won't happen. Tried to work his way around the left leg. But it is an 8-6 victory for Ryan Renan at 165 pounds.
Officially, it'll go down 8-7 as Al Gould did have that point on the ride time.
Onward to 174 pounds. Frank Savignago, the unbeaten senior for the Blue Jays out of St. Charles. Wrestled at St. Charles East High School. Bryce Babula out of Genoa City, Wisconsin, a freshman for Lakeland. Savignago 6-0 this season. Babula 0-2. Whole lot of nothing here early on. (16-6) is the score in the dual meet. Elmhurst recorded 2 majors and a tech fall amongst their 4 victories to start this matchup. Lakeland has recorded consecutive decisions, which have pulled them to within 16-6 overall. 6 wins for Savignago this season, a major decision and 2 falls to his credit. He pinned Jan Schierfel of Wisconsin Oshkosh and Brian Ersick of York. And he has the first points here in this one, thanks to a takedown of Babula, who quickly escapes. Last time out, a major decision for Savignago over Takumi Mihama of Chicago, 18-4. The closest that an opponent has come to Savignago so far this season, 7-3. That belonging to Dan Kapp of Hannibal LaGrange. A very solid start, and Savignago picks up 2 more on a takedown, and he quickly enables Babula to escape. 4-2 here in the first. Hooking the right knee and turning 2 more. 3 takedowns for Savignago here in the first. And he is trying to turn Babula, looking to make quick work of the freshman.
Savignago just a machine out there right now, and he's got Babula going in the wrong direction here.
Trying to flip him. Almost. There's a count.
Just a little bit more on that shoulder, and he's going to have this one wrapped up.
Savignago, 43-36 overall, receives 3 points.
I think Frank looked at the clock, realized he can work on a tech fall pretty easily here too, already up 9-2, approaching that ride time here. Figured he can get another roll on him here before the end of the period.
One of the seniors honored before the match here tonight. Savignago has wrestled his entire career here at Elmhurst at 174 pounds. Best mark was as a sophomore, finishing 25-16, placing third in the CCIW. He placed third last season as well, but finished with an 11-11 record after opening his college career 7-9. An escape for Babula. First period closes with Savignago holding a 9-3 advantage. Second period opens with Babula in the down position. He's looking for his first collegiate victory for Lakeland. 3 matches to go after 174 pounds. Savignago hooking the right arm, trying to flip Babula. Count is on again. Another count.
Frank just needs to lean on him a little bit more. He's got just not quite, as Babula has fought it off a couple times, but 3 points, and Frank's going to kick him loose here and see if he can work on the technical fall here, Tim.
Add 3 to the ledger. It is 12-4. A major decision now for Savignago.
Just needs to step around here, and he'll have that other takedown, and there it is.
And now it is 14-4.
It's got to be tough for a freshman to come in and work on an experienced senior. And once again, Frank, a quick release, going right to work here on the takedown here. One more takedown and then maybe a near fall here, and he can wrap it up here in the second period.
Steve Marianetta telling him right away, take another one. Go for another one.
And there's the takedown. There's 2 more points. 16-5, plus he's got the ride time here. Frank taking a look at the clock on the scoreboard. You saw him glance up over his shoulder there, see how much time he's got to work with, trying to decide if he should kick him or go for the near fall points, and he's going to try to put him on his back again. There's 3 more riding points for Frank.
15 seconds left, and now he's on his back.
That
Almost
should do it right there.
A pin with 7 seconds remaining in the second.
Pin comes at 4:53 in the match.
Frank Savignago is now 7-0 on the season with the win via fall.
Gives Elmhurst a 22-6 lead.
Third fall of the season for Savignago. And that basically clinches the dual meet for the Blue Jays with 3 matches remaining. We are at 184 pounds here on Blue Jay TV. Elmhurst College Wrestling tonight as the Blue Jays taking on Lakeland College.
Lakeland still with a mathematic chance. They'd have to win all 3 of these by pinfall, basically.
That's why I said basically clinches. He's Kevin Jude. I'm Tim Calder. With Joe Rowell for Elmhurst here at 184. 6-1 record as a sophomore out of Chicago. Wrestling against Chris Weber. 4-6 as a sophomore out of Mishicot, Wisconsin. Weber finished 6th at regionals last year. 20-21. Joe Rao wrestled at St. Patrick High School. His lone loss was to Ben Engeland of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, a 9-3 decision as he attempts to lift Weber off of the mat. And he does so, pounding him to the ground. A takedown for Joe Rao.
Steve Marinetti thinks Joe Rao is one of those guys who could easily be a national qualifier in his career. He won a conference championship last year, had a strong showing at the regional as well. Probably narrowly missing the cut to go to nationals last year.
You look at his start to this season, you can see why. 4 of his 6 victories have been via fall. And he was almost able to start a count on Weber here in the first period. Weber trying to reverse Rao. Rao still in position. And a trip for Weber indeed secures the reversal. Tied at 2 here in the first, coming up on 1 minute remaining. Joe Rao placed 20 and 11 last season. He was 3rd at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional. Wrestling at 197 pounds. So he is down a weight class this season. Elmhurst leading 22-6 in the duel, with under a minute remaining as Rao escapes to retake the lead at 3-2. .30 seconds. Rao with a takedown, 5-2. His second takedown of the first. Terry Giardini telling the individuals to wrestle. Rao attempting to flip Weber.
Weber doing a nice job, roll right back on it before a count could really get going.
Chris Weber with the choice here in the second. He looks to his coaching staff. And he will start in the down position. Quickly to his feet is Weber. Hammered down. Rao now over a minute in riding time.
And Rao in a great position here to finish him off.
There it is. 3 minutes and 40 seconds in at 184 pounds. Joe Rao pushes the advantage to 28-6 in favor of Elmhurst with just 2 matches remaining. The Blue Jays looking to keep their perfect duel record alive, leading Lakeland here tonight as they search for their 4th victory of the season. Ike McNeil at 197 pounds for Elmhurst. Sophomore out of Chicago quickly ahead 2-0 as he pushes Wetzel to the mat quickly. Zach Wetzel, a freshman out of Campbellsport, Wisconsin.
Not even 8 seconds into the match, and Mike McNeil had him on his back. McNeil wrestling a weight class up. He's usually been wrestling at 184. That's where he was a starter for the Blue Jays last year when the Blue Jays were a little banged up in that area. This year they changed it up. Joe Rao dropped a weight class down to 84. McNeil moving up right now, filling in for Danny Vargas, who had been the regular starter for Elmhurst start of the year, but Vargas a little nicked up, so McNeil getting the start tonight, and a very good start. Had a decent showing this past weekend as well at the Wisconsin Open at UW Parkside.
Finished the weekend as McNeil tries to take advantage of the opportunity to wrestle at 197 pounds.
Took 3rd place. Wisconsin Open.
Scored a major decision over Derek Shefsky of Wisconsin Platte, 14-4, as Zach Wetzel manages to escape. He also scored a decision over Christian Alcantara of Triton, 7-4. So McNeil is 4-3 on the season for the Blue Jays, up a weight class tonight. And leading 2-1 and looking to add more.
Steve Marinetti wanting the takedown there. Thought he had control before Wetzel went off the match. Or went off the mat, excuse me.
McNeil placed 4th at the CCIW Championships last season. Finished with an overall record of 6-24. But he's already shown improvements in this his sophomore campaign. Dancing towards the leg, 2 more.
Well, his takedowns so far today, Tim, have been with authority, basically. McNeil is very, very quick to strike.
Elmhurst leading 28-6 in the duel. McNeil on top 4-1 with a minute of riding time to his advantage. Powering Wetzel to the mat once more. And Wetzel escapes. Off the mat we go. McNeil waltzing against Wetzel. Trying to work the shoulder area as he's pushed back towards the scorer's table. In for the leg and 2 more. A 6-2 lead for McNeil. Elmhurst has won the last 2 matches via pinfall. The Blue Jays with 2 pins, a tech fall, and 2 major decisions tonight. As the first period comes to a close, with McNeil leading 6-2. Neutral is the slot for the second period. Again, you can go back and watch any of these contests on Blue Jay TV through the YouTube page. McNeil backing up against Wetzel, another freshman for Lakeland. They have a freshman as well at 285 pounds who will have his work cut out for him against 2-time All-American Mark Corsello coming up. One minute remaining. McNeil circling his 4th takedown.
Mike's been in control for the majority of this match. Like we said, he just a takedown 8 seconds into the match, now up comfortably 8-2, plus a minute 43 of ride time already.
And an escape for Wetzel, who quickly tries to pounce on McNeil.
It's in control for 2 points.
8-5 is the score. McNeil with his left leg in the air, trying to paw his way forward. Looking to pop up. McNeil trying to rip away. Other ideas for Wetzel, who again drives him into the mat. Down to 10 seconds in the second. The riding time bonus point would go away for McNeil if it holds up. Which it will. 8-5, the advantage for McNeil. We go neutral to start the third. looked like they were going to go neutral. They opt to start in the down position. Wetzel trying to quickly escape, which would pull him to within a takedown. It is 8-6 in favor of McNeil. And now Wetzel trying to secure the tying takedown.
Wetzel
to the edge of the mat.
Doing a nice job of battling back in this one, Tim, as it looked like that Mike McNeil was in total control for a little while, and now it's 8-6. With the ride time, it's 9-6, but a takedown, like you said, for Wetzel would pretty much even it up. He can just only 9 seconds he'd have to ride off that clock to notch a score.
McNeil sticking his arms up high. Stalling warning. Takedown for McNeil, his 5th of the match. 10-6. Under a minute to go. 197 pounds. And we have a stalemate. And an escape for Wetzel. Clawing within 10-7, but he has some work cut out for him.
He's going to need a takedown and a quick back point, or try to get a takedown, quickly let him up and get that other takedown.
Under 30 seconds. 10-7, McNeil with the lead for Elmhurst. With 10 seconds remaining, a stalling call has led to a point.
Now all he needs is a takedown here. But instead, McNeil going to cinch in that leg, and he's got a chance to get a takedown here to end it.
Nothing either way as we expire. And 11-8 will be the final in favor of Mike McNeil. As Elmhurst, who won the first 4 matches of the night, has now won 3 in a row after a pair of Lakeland victories. And it is now a 31-6 advantage for Elmhurst.
Mark Corsello, the Blue Jays heavyweight, 2-time All-American, 3-time national qualifier for the Blue Jays. He is undefeated on this season.
6-0, ranked 2nd in the nation out of Park Ridge, Illinois. Formerly of Maine South, and he's quickly got Phelan on his back for the takedown.
Phelan was in a bad spot in a hurry there, as almost was flat on his shoulders, and Corsello quickly going to work, trying to put him on his shoulders here to end it.
We're just 30 seconds in, and Corsello gunning for the pin.
Already I'm 5-0 with the near fall, and I think he's just going to let him up and try for the other go right back for a takedown.
3 falls and a major decision among the 6 victories for Corsello this year, who did not wrestle until November 20th. A couple of forfeits at the heavyweight class. 2 more with another takedown. He pinned Ryan Hatton of Chicago in 1 minute and 36 seconds last week. Towards the edge of the mat again. Corsello will once more allow Phelan to his feet. Phelan is winless in his college career out of Sheboygan, Wisconsin, 0-4. He's just trying to spin away from Corsello, who drives in to score 2 more. Corsello trying to flip Phelan. Managing to hang on for the time being. Count is on. Phelan with his right shoulder up.
Precarious position here for Phelan as some more points going to go Corsello's way here. 12-2 already.
12-2 in the first, and Corsello will allow the escape.
12-3, and just right in so quick on that leg.
14-3. He's going for a major decision in the first.
A technical fall possibly already for Corsello if he can just roll him over here.
Oh, he's going to do more. Phelan's on his back. He's trying to keep that left shoulder off of the mat. Corsello, though, with the first period winding down, doing his best. Is it there?
Terry Giardini right there on top of the action. And
yes.
There it is. 29 seconds left at the clock, on the clock, so call it 2:31 of the opening period for Mark Corsello as he wins by pin, making the final score 37-6 in this duel.
It is his fourth pin of the season for Corsello, who is now 7-0. Elmhurst wins the first 4 matches of the duel, drops 2 straight, and closes the night by recording 4 consecutive victories as well. 3 pins, 2 majors, and a tech fall for the Blue Jays tonight in a convincing win over Lakeland.
Well, it started out as a slow-moving duel, Tim, with a lot of injury time and some blood time as well. But, boy, did it pick up the pace there late as the Blue Jays scoring pins in 3 of the final 4 matches.
37-6 is the final. Elmhurst, ranked number 26 in the nation, improves to 4-0, while Lakeland drops to 1-2. That will wrap up our coverage tonight of Elmhurst College Wrestling. From the campus of Elmhurst College in Elmhurst, Illinois, and R.A. Faginal Hall. For our entire crew and for my partner, Kevin Jude, my name is Tim Calderwood, saying so long. Thanks for tuning in.